whatever.
You look bright.
Are we
I'm
live?
like,
Okay, we're live. Okay, my dress is all crooked, but oh well. Okay,
no, you look great.
welcome. Thank you. So do you. Okay, guys, we are live and welcome to the Anne and Claudine live show. Um, we'll kind of wait for people to come in.
We haven't been here for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, we haven't been in here for the last 2 weeks, you guys. We've been
No.
well, we had a holiday and then what happened?
You had your grandson's birthday.
Oh, yep, I had my grands. They did a last minute birthday
That's right.
party.
That's
That's
right.
right, and I just felt called to be there.
Hmm.
Plus, you and I had a lot of talking to catch up on, anyways. So
Yes, and we've had a lot to do. We've
yeah,
had
we've
busy
had a lot.
we've had busy weeks.
Yeah,
I've had
it's
so much.
okay.
Hmm. We've had a lot.
It's okay to take a break. You have to. If you don't take a break, I mean, then you're just gonna get really bored of these because now we've got a
I
lot of good content to write, to talk about,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I just kind of I need to put this out there. Let's get the legalities out of the way. So this show, we just like to talk about everything and anything that has to do with health and spiritual stuff and um, just we don't we just talk about spiritual stuff and our bodies and health. Let's just put it that way. But we are not doctors. We are not nurses. I don't know anything about the Western medicine and doesn't know anything about Australia medicine. We just speak off of anecdotal evidence of what I see from my clients and what I've been through and what Anne has been through. Okay. And what we talk about on this show is for entertainment purposes only. But what we do talk about, Anne and I take very serious. And we do believe that it's only for the people who have the eyes to see it and the ears to hear it. So thank you for watching our show. And if you like it, please press like and leave a comment if you want to and share it if you want. We really, to be honest with you, Ann and I, we really it doesn't matter to us if you share it or if you don't. It's it's we're just here to put our perspective on things and that's it. I am a healer myself. I own my own facility. I make my own medicine and I help people transfer off of pharmaceuticals, street drugs, and alcohol onto plant-based medicine. And Anne's a healer. She does it through energy. This is a show about energy. That's pretty much what we talk about. We love talking about energy because we know how important it is. And that's what we are, is energy, and everything is energy. So I'll go ahead and let Anne introduce herself real quick, and from there we'll get started. We will be talking today. Anne and I will be having a conversations with ourselves regarding the simulation, the matrix. Go ahead, Anne.
Hi, man. I live in Australia. I I work as a my main job is a waitress. I'm a mom of two, and I also work with Claudine. And like she said, I'm an energy. Like I just how would I say it? An energy reader. Like I see it, I feel it, I hear it. Like if it's there, it's yeah. I bounce off of energy a lot. So yeah, I definitely would say I work with energy probably more than I work with the 3D.
Well, you
People,
don't have a veil. Your veil, if
no,
you do, is extremely, extremely thin. You don't have this big, thick veil. You can see the
no,
underworld that's combined, I believe, with the material world.
yes. I think I live in many different realms, many different dimensions.
Hmm. I do. I believe you have the capability of going in and out of different realms, different dimensions. Like I said, the underworld. I just believe
Yeah.
that we're intertwined with the underworld, and
Mhm.
we
I
we
think
just make up all these names for things.
yeah. I For me, the way I see it is that we actually like we're just the 3D version, but there's lots of different realms all around us playing out at the same time at different dimensional times. Like ours is the 3D version, and then we have, you know, the dead, the people who have died that we have seen in human and where their dimension is, and then we have the angel realm, and we have that like, and there's just all these different dimensions, but they're all around us. That's how I see it, and we're just like we say that they're ghosts when we see them, but how do we know that we're not the ghost to them? You know, like we could be the ghost to them, they could be in their realm, and the things we do are like, oh, there's that, you know. And because we're not supposed to cross over, but we're all around each other. I don't know,
Mm.
that's how I see it, how the dimensions and realms go. And when we sleep, our our spirits will leave our physical body because our physical body is completely sound asleep, and some like it will go and visit other realms, and you know have different interactions with different, you know, other different dimensions and stuff, and some of us will remember it and some of us don't. Many of us don't remember it, or some of us find.
Because of the, yeah, the mind wiping
Mhm,
um that they do, that, you know, to me, reincarnation is the greatest memory wiping program that was ever created from, I
mhm,
believe, from a simulation.
mhm,
And that's what we're talking about today, you guys. We're going to talk about the simulation, the matrix, and what is that? What does that all mean to me and to Anne? This is something that her and I have both been kind of talking about a lot the past couple of weeks. One, I've had a lot of clients come in here, and I've been extremely busy the last, I would say, business really picked up the last 2 or 3 weeks,
mhm.
and they're very confused, and they're oh, the questions they have for me regarding the simulation and the matrix, well, the material world, and a lot of them are just like, they're teetering out of it. It's kind of like when they're sleeping and they're having dreams, they're seeing that, you know, the outside of it, you know, like, and they're standing on the outside of it. One of my clients had a dream where they were standing on the outside of it. Um,
Of the simulation.
uh-huh, uh-huh. And then, so, you know, I found that
They were
very
what, looking
interesting.
back, and they were looking back into the simulation.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm. Like you said, when
Yeah.
they're sleeping, they're in their true form, you know, and they
Yeah.
remembered this, which is very good, because that's another part of the mind wiping simulation that they have on us. You know, we don't always remember our dreams because we're being wiped out every time we wake up. You don't, but a lot of us do get wiped out.
Mhm.
Uh,
I learned a lot in my dreams. Like
mm-hmm,
the way the way that spirit can communicate in a dream is like, I guess that's like what true telepathy, or you know, their kind of AI works. But it's
mm-hmm,
like they can give you an image or a scenario and exaggerate it, but give you a message through that that you'll come out of, and it'll be a full entire message, but like in a 2 second snapshot in your mem. Like I don't know how, but I think people who have experienced it and learned how to work with their dreams like understand what I'm saying. But and spirit can explain so much like on this deeper level that I can't express to anyone. Like one time, I'll say this as an example real quick. I was hanging around two people, and like certain things were happening to me, but these people were, you know, it was my ex and his partner, and you know, I'm thinking, trying to give them benefit of the doubt that they're nice people. But gave me this dream, and in the dream I was a turkey, and I had them both chasing this me around as a turkey and trying to put me in the oven. And they kept saying, "We're a narcissist. We're a narcissist." So anyway, I woke up from that dream, and I was a turkey and they were trying to put me in the oven. But I told someone the dream, and they're like, "Oh, dreaming of a baked turkey means that you are letting yourself be victim to something." And it made total sense to me. I'm like, oh. So I'm putting myself in this situation with these two people, but I'm willingly doing it. And I'm making myself a victim because they are certain types toward
They're
me.
stuffing you. They're stuffing you with
Yeah.
all of their darkness and their truth.
Yeah. Well, they run around going, "We're narcissists. I'm a narcissist." Like they're literally screaming and telling me, and they're making me the victim. So for me, that was really easy. I was like, oh, okay, get away from this situation. Stop putting myself in that. Stop going to dinner. Stop going around every time they invite you and just they're not to be your friends. Keep them at arm's distance because all you're doing is becoming a victim to something about them. So I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. But you know what I mean? Like, had anyone try to explain that to me, I would be like, but when I just saw that and I'm a turkey, I'm like, oh, okay, I got that. Like, you know what I mean? So that's dreams I find are so wonderful like that because they're like a movie, but there's a meaning to it. It's like, that's the meaning.
And spirit always speaks in metaphors because it doesn't know English. You
No,
know, it doesn't,
no,
so it always speaks in metaphors. And I always like to say, just because you have a dream that the phone is ringing doesn't mean you're supposed to answer it.
no.
There's a deeper meaning to it.
Exactly. It's for you to understand.
Uh-huh.
That's
And
the
I
meaning.
think that dream, I've had that dream before. That's why I always use that when there was always this red phone ringing. I think it was a movie I saw or something when I was younger. So I would dream about that often. And I'd always answer it, but there'd never be no one there. But then I finally figured out down, the line that it had a different meaning. It didn't mean I was supposed to answer it. It just means that there's someone trying to contact me.
Yeah. If, if I got that as a recurring dream, I would be like kind of creeped out. I'd be like, who's on the other side? Like,
Because
I
you're
want,
it's a human thing. It's the human thing to do.
yeah,
But
someone's trying to contact you, Claudine.
it took me a long time to figure that. That's when it clicked to me. Oh, okay, spirit talks in it's different language than what I talk as far as
Totally.
English. Yeah, yeah,
100%. It's
yeah.
completely different, but I like it. I find it like thrilling. I'd
Hmm.
rather that kind of language than human speaking, just blah blah blah. Like I get very bored of that, just our English words. I love the way spirit communicates in their dreams. I find
Yeah.
it like I find it exciting because it's almost like a movie, but you're part of the movie, but you got to figure out the movie and what it meant. It's like a little jigsaw puzzle that you got to like sit down and okay, that's what that meant. Like how
You're,
we had that dream, like I saw you in the dream and then
yeah.
you had a dream and it was all connected and like we had to puzzle it together.
And we
Like,
figured it all out. Yeah, that was
mhm.
something that we did the last 2 weeks too. We were in a dream together. I didn't see her, she saw me, and then it ended up being something that I needed to recognize that was going on with me. And yeah, that was interesting. That was really cool. But
You
okay, so
were.
we're going to talk about the matrix, you guys. It's what I
Mhm.
call the simulation. And there's other words. There's other words. Okay, matrix is one word that we've heard it be called. I did a little research, and I guess the Buddhism or Hinduism, they call it the Maya.
Maya.
They call the material world the Maya, 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 right?
Mm,
Maya, yeah. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I've never heard of that, and that comes from Hinduism and or Buddhism, whatever. They're the same thing, right?
yeah.
Dream spell,
Hmm.
veil of forgetfulness, dimensional, 3D,
Hmm.
false light paradigm. That's my favorite one. I love calling it the false light paradigm. Um, Simulation reality, the idea that we're living in a computer generated universe. Artificial construct or conductor. I've heard those are the two different uh names I've heard. Other I guess you could say mainstream spirituality, call it, or new age, whatever you want to call it. I've heard them say that the digital prison.
Anything with prison sounds about right.
Yeah, right. Let me see, what else did I write? Okay, so those are a few words or names of the simulation or matrix. The number one, I think because of the movie Matrix, they made it really, that's just
Hmm.
kind of like what the word is, right?
Matrix, yeah, and it kind of makes sense. Like even simulation, it kind of makes sense because it's a simulator. You see, the Matrix kind of did it correctly because it had all the numbers and it was, you know, is it AI? Is it some kind of AI system? I had Victor yesterday send me something, and he's saying that we're actually in a dream state, that we're actually dead in a dream state. And that kind of goes hand in hand with the whole thinking, the underwater, and we're underwater and they have a version of us and they can go inside us and do things in our stomach through our nanobots and like all of it. Like who knows what's happening, but we are in a matrix. We're I I like the word prison because for me, when I kind of saw what everything was, to me, I really, really struggled with not feeling that I was stuck in hell. Like I'm like, this is hell. No, it's purgatory. No, it's hell. No, it's purgatory. And yeah, I would look into bars and all I would see is just like versions of, like, I would just see this like versions of hell like inside it, where and the entity is just stuck to that bar and everything was just like, and then you just do the same thing over and over and over. Like, how is that not some kind of purgatory? But it's definitely a matrix. We're definitely stuck to a great degree in something, in my opinion.
Well, it's a mirage, first of
Yeah.
all.
And it's a
And it,
simulation because we keep repeating boop, 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 and it goes round and around and around. So,
well, the simulation, I think, is to know what the simulation is. Okay, here we go. To know what it is, it's important. It's important, because then you know where to put your energy.
hmm
Um, and to focus on that.
hmm
And when we direct our energy on something, I do at least, I always reach the results I want.
hmm
So understanding the simulation and how it works and what it is helps you be able to do this. Do you, what do you think?
I think so. It helps you once you get a grasp of it. It helps you in all kinds of ways. It helps you with your mental state because when you repeat the same thing over and over and over for the same result, technically that is considered crazy. So the simulation kind of makes you be crazy in the way that you just keep repeating the same thing and getting the same result, which I think, is going to cause depression and anxiety and just feeling shit about yourself. Like, because you keep doing the same thing over and over and ending up in the same crappy spot. So, and once you get an idea for your simulation, I think it helps you choose, or hopefully choose things better, because you see that once you're choosing the right things, your simulation starts to run a bit smoother and you start, heading in the right direction. It's all you create your own simulation to a very great degree every single day. There is a big simulation of what the, like, I guess maybe the soul journey or whatever that is, but on a day-to-day basis as a human being, the energy that you're doing exchanges with your simulation and you're accumulating within your simulation, that's what you can like control to quite a great degree. What you put into your body, what you do with yourself in a physical level, health wise, all of those types of things. And that will your energy exchanges with people, that whether you're going to bring crap situations into your life, like all those things create your simulation. So that's where I think you can like having an understanding of that we are in a simulation can help you, like, you know, take a little bit more control over your own state of being. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's, to make it plainly, it's constructed reality.
Yeah.
It's a mirage,
Yeah.
and it's created by different types of AIs, I believe, that control it. And it's the material world. P- Plain and simple. It's what makes you, yeah, be part of the material world.
For sure. That's the
Mhm.
simulation. When you're like, okay, I always say this to people. You got Andrew Tate, who goes on and on and on about the Matrix and how, escape the Matrix. But to me, he is still part of the Matrix because he still drives fancy cars. He still gets on private jets. He still has to make some kind of income to create this lifestyle for him. So if you are still doing that, you are still in the matrix. You're just on a different level of the matrix to other people. But the only way to escape the matrix, for me personally, I think, is to go live in the bush and have very little communication with the world and very little contact, then you're escaping the matrix. That's a true version of escaping the matrix to me. But as long as you're in the matrix and you're buying cars and you're, living that life, any kind of lifestyle, you're in the matrix. You are part of the matrix, just different level of our matrix. So that's how I
Yes.
see it.
Yeah, there's
It's
different types of simulations. There's layers on top of layers to keep us trapped in this because they don't want us to wake up to the fact that it's it's all an illusion. But it's so real to so many people. You know what I mean? It really
mhm,
is real.
it is.
It
It
is.
it's our reality. Like, as long as we're still here in this, living in your houses and stuff, and being on social media, just being part of this world in any way, it's your reality. you know at the moment, there's like talk of World War III at our doorstep. There's a lot of craziness in our world, and you can turn off your TV and
That's
let
not
it.
craziness. That is noise. That is noise to keep you sucked into the matrix. Because if you're giving energy to their noise, you are not healing yourself and you're not pulling yourself away from the matrix,
Mhm,
the material world. You're not, you know what I mean? You're not keeping it a simple life.
mhm. Yeah. You have to learn how to create your own simulation to a great degree these days. And you could say that it's living in you have to understand reality, but then you have to understand how to break away from reality to where it's not whether it's healthy or not for you, like, and create a protection around yourself from so many things that this matrix, this reality wants to throw at you. Like, look at when COVID came in. COVID was all, hey, hello Nova.
She heard us talking about her before we got started.
We were. I forgot what we were saying.
Oh, does
But
she needs EMF protection?
yeah, EMF
Yeah,
protection, Nova.
yeah, yeah.
All about the EMF protection. I think it's especially for the children. Like, put them on your kids' um, things, like any device that they use. Protect them any way you can. I think it's very, very important. EMF protection.
Yeah, her and I are supposed to get together and have a conversation. We're overdue for a powwow, so I'll bring all that up to her.
Mm.
Um, Actually, I'm mailing her out a package. I should go ahead and add some of those stickers for her. But anyways, let's be real about this, you guys. If we're gonna make it through this insane reality of the Matrix, and it's falling down because it is coming down. These AIs are coming down, and um, we need to keep ourselves and our loved ones safe. For the ones who have the eyes and the ears to hear this and understand this, I feel it's my job, because I'm aware of this, to help keep myself and my family safe and my friends. And that's why we're here live, right? To talk about this and what we
Mhm.
think about the Matrix. Um, while the simulation is breaking down, because I do believe it's breaking down quite rapidly. I mean, look at all the noise that's going on out there. Why is all this noise going on? Why are all these wars having to happen?
Mm.
Why are they making all these distractions?
Mm. Because something's there. Something's at our doorstep to a great degree. Like I don't know what. I think it has. I personally think it will come down to when we go through whatever this Mother Earth change is going to be. Like some of the destruction that's going. Like look at Texas and the floods, and that people are freaking out about that. Trust me, when when some of these prophecies come true about the pole shift and some of the destruction that will come with it, it's gonna be like something else. It's gonna be scary. It's gonna be like take out 9/11. It's gonna be that our earth will shake. So I think maybe when that happens and maybe they know that that's coming, like I don't know what the elite are up to, but I can see they are throwing out everything at the
They
moment.
don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to run these simulations. They barely created their own little stuff that has to do with keeping us in the simulation, keeping the drama going, but they don't know how to run these simulations. To me, for me, were created by much, much bigger realm owners. They were
Yeah.
created by Lucifer. They were created by Luciferin. They were Lilith, Satan, all of those demons, Michael, Gabriel, all these realm owners created their own, to me, that's what I believe, created, their own type of simulation to
Mm-hmm.
put on us. And, but the good news is we can be part of the dismantling. I do believe that I have been part of the dismantling, and just like you, Anne. And the more of us that unite, and that's what it's going to take for us to all unite and stop allowing it to still our thoughts and control our mind, body, and soul.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it was created. It was created to separate our mind, body, and soul.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I
And
think
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't even think humans realize how much we are just like vessels to spirit. Like how much is actually us thinking ourselves, or is that what we've been influenced? Is that we've been traumatized to have that behavior, or is that being is that conditioned somehow to something? You know, I wonder how much humans actually stop and think about that and know and understand who they truly are. Like because I almost feel like our consciousness gets sucked right into the middle of our head, and that's where it gets stuck, and then the rest of our head is just all filled up with like everything that the world has told us and put we've experienced, and that just fills up our consciousness, and that's what we're like acting out of, not like our true authentic self. So that's how I see humans. But yeah, I wonder how much humans realize that like we're just vessels. Like so many things that we do, we're just like letting spirit run through us. And like, are we using good spirit or are we using bad spirit?
Yeah, it does control us. It wipes our memory, part of the memory wiping, which makes it so difficult. Like I said, most of us wake up and our memories wiped from the dream. That's part of the simulation. Going to the other side is another realm. Who
Mm-hmm.
controls that realm?
Mm-hmm.
Time itself is a realm. But this,
Yeah.
again, this is my beliefs. It's a perspective. It's my perspective. How about that? That's what I like to say. I don't like to say anything's my belief anymore because it changes so much.
Your perspective.
My perspective.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I like that. Your perspective. I'm the same.
yes, yeah. But we can break free from this. To do that, we have to know who created the simulations. And for me, what I've learned in my lifetime, because I've gone up, battled up against a lot of different darkness. I've battled the government. I've changed laws. I've made laws. You know, I've been up against oppositions, and I'm going to tell you, and every single time I came to the table of whoever I had to go up against to 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 talk about the truth about cannabis, our born given rights of plants. A lot of people who know me know that that's what I've been doing. I've been fighting literally for our born given rights. And you have to know who your opposition is. Even when my child this teachers and the school districts were trying to claim that my child had these horrible mental disease, and were labeling him all this stuff. I had to know who I was going up against and how do they think.
Hmm.
That is how you win an argument, a war, anything that the light is going up against. You just need to know who your opposition is and how they think. So
Hmm.
who is our opposition on this matrix? Who's the opposition? Who's the creator of all of this?
The deep state of cabal.
I think that, like I said, I don't think the deep state created any of these
No, but I
simulations
think they're
because they
helping
can't
run.
even balance a budget. But I think they've been given the know-how and the knowledge of how to keep making noise
Running.
to keep us, yeah, to keep us sucked
Yeah,
in.
I think so too. I believe so. They are continuing the matrix, and they they keep making the script so it's more in the dark's favor.
Mhm.
That's how they've created this matrix. It's not an even matrix. It's very heavily weighed into the dark side. They've kept they keep humans at to because like they source our energy, but what energy are they sourcing? They've had humans and they keep doing it and it gets worse and worse as the years go on. They source our energy but in the negative, I find. Like
Of course,
from
they
like
can't
our
create. They can no longer create. They're too dark.
no.
They can only destroy.
Yeah. And they kind of destroy us by like keeping our energies and our like the things they teach us and condition us through our lives from sex to relationships, it's cool to be toxic
Religion.
in a relationship. Yeah, religion and how toxic that is. And it always has a negative aspect to it. And I find that seems to be what they source this planet's energy from the humans more, like is all more negative. This matrix is more based on the negative side of energy than the positive side. Like sex has a positive side and the light, which is what it's supposed to be, and then it's can be very dirty and dark and gross, which is the dark side. And that's what we get conditioned with, and that's what we tend to grow up and have relationships, and we start our relationships and we have this toxicity and this darkness to all of it. And it's like that's just what they source from us, from our root chakra, from our energy. And I just find that most of the things that humans grow into is feeding the dark matrix. Yeah.
Yes. And so Nova says, I'm dealing with all that school stuff myself. I'd like homeschooling if I could. Now, Nova, I want to let you know that if you'll get paid to homeschool. So look into it. I heard I have a lot of clients that are homeschool moms. I have my own daughter-in-law's a homeschool mom, and she is receiving, I believe, $2,000 to $3,000 for each one of my grandchildren. It is very regulated though. You just can't get that money and go do whatever you want. You have to show receipts and you have to show where that money is going for what education. So anyways, It is. I'm just letting you know, FYI, they will pay you. And my grandchildren only do 2.5 hours of homeschooling, reading, math, and writing. And the rest of it is what they want to do. So, and
Oh,
they've got the money to go do it. Yep. So that's okay. For example, my granddaughter wants to learn how to cook healthier and how to make healthy snacks. So she went and got a bunch of kitchen stuff, KitchenAid, those really nice
mhm,
ones that cost like $300 or $400. They
mhm.
covered that.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
very cool.
Very cool, very cool. So, and now it looks like they might qualify for a new school that they're putting on out here, where that school is taking homeschool children, and they are if they qualify and they can get in, hopefully they will. They're going to teach them how to garden. They teach them how to fish. They teach them back to the basics, and this is what we need so that we can beat the matrix, you guys. Okay. Um, because we can all be part of dismantling this, and it's going to take generations. I mean, this simulation has been for eons and eons and eons. It has a very strong grip on us. Okay. um Now, I'm going to go back a little bit here. We were talking about how there's different simulations, you guys, and I just want to give you an example of what I'm talking about. Okay. Now we have someone who's some type of a realm owner or some kind of a demon, and that's Elon Musk. For me, this is my perspective. And look
Okay.
what he's done. Okay, well, look what he's done. He's created, we're going to go into computer talk here, okay? Because computers are part of the simulation, you guys. It's part of our, of controlling our brain, our thinking, and our bodies and our minds, okay? They don't have control of our soul, but they have overlays on our soul. But let's just talk about the body and the mind. Now, look what Elon Musk has done. He's ramping up the next level of simulation. Okay, look at Starlink.
Hmm.
What's that for? It's not for our benefit. Okay, what is what else does he do? His cars. Look at
He has all the satellites that are he has like 30,000 satellites that are sitting around our planet at
the
the moment.
satellites that he has. This is another layer of the simulation to keep us stuck and dependent on their technology.
Hmm.
Technology should not work like that ever, you guys. That is wrong. That is darkness. That is dark. That is dark energy right there all over it. So this is kind of a example on a very small scale, you guys, of how somebody um, creates a simulation and then puts it
Hmm.
on us and then hijacks our thinking. And he can control our thinking, you guys, believe it or not, through the nanobots and everything that's
Hmm.
being pushed on us, which is EMF waves. EMF waves are very real and they're very controlling. That
Hmm.
is the new way. That is the newer way of how they're doing it right now.
Hmm.
Um,
That's quite a forceful way, isn't it?
it, Yep, it is. We should never have to rely on to this or a computer to turn on our lights,
Mm.
to get our information, to cook our food, to open our refrigerator, all this stuff that I am watching what's going on. I mean, we've completely disconnected from the analog. And just think when we are, okay, here's another thought, you guys. When we are on analog and we're just using basic electricity, what has been one of the number one conductors for spirits to come through?
Okay.
Electricity.
Yes, true, true. That's what they flash on and off and mm.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
that tell you they're on it there? That's what I mean, like we're their ghosts. Like they're all around us.
Right. Yeah,
Hmm.
you no, you have it. I like that perspective. I love that statement. I think it says, let's go ahead and see what we got some of our listeners what they're saying. Dark forces are losing the grip over us. Light will rise. Gaia has shown her and asked us to. Exactly. We're going to talk about Mother Gaia here in a minute, Victor. I've got all kinds of stuff that I've written. written. Hopefully we'll get through this in 2 hours. If we do not get through all of this in 2 hours, you guys, because there's a lot to talk about, I will be back on tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock and we can continue from there. Okay. Anyways, yes, Elon Musk is I can't see the question. I'm sorry. Okay, Elon Musk is part of the Draker Souls. Yeah, yep, he definitely is. He's draconian, no doubt in my mind. 1,000. They're all draconian.
Mm.
Okay, and part of the chemtrails, yes, part of the chemtrails. In fact, that's
I feel like
another
Trump
way.
is Nephilim.
Huh?
I feel like Trump is Nephilim, but something about that family I just feel is like Nephilim blood. Like,
Yep, control of the house. Exactly. That way they can see what we're doing at all times. Because remember, you guys, it's all about not the one world order. I believe we've been living that for quite some time. I think it's the new order. I think they made a couple new ones up, you know. Um, I've never thought, I thought that was a good one too. Nova, I never thought about electricity part. I know I can hear it. Yes, that is probably one of the lowest grade inventions to keep us binded and spirits be able to come in through the electricity, because we know about that. It's a great conductor for them. How many
mhm.
people have had experiences with electricity and
Yeah,
how it gets turned off, it goes on, it goes wacky. I mean, you know what I mean?
yeah,
You hear
yeah,
weird noises.
yeah.
um Again, it's a perspective, you guys. These are just my perspectives. People, when, the way I get my perspectives is I get downloads and I get visions, and then I just try to do my discernment to explain it to you guys. Yes, Victor,
Mhm.
love your damn self, damn it. I love it when he says that. Love your damn self, people. um so solving this goes, so to bring this simulation down, you got to understand how they think, you guys. That's all we got to do. Okay. And
Mhm.
and once we're able to understand how they think and how to bring this simulation down, and it has to be a humanity thing. Just a couple of us can't do it. We need the more of us that are together, the stronger that we are together. Okay. And this is our way of getting true freedom. We've got to
Mhm.
bring it down so we can be free, sovereign beings. Wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't that be nice? I'm sorry. I really struggle to say anything because I feel it's just going to be negative. Oh my God. Wouldn't that be nice? I just can't imagine it. Like, I don't know how it's going to like happen. I just have to have faith to be,
We do, yeah, because we're seeing it coming down, like it's happening slowly. You know what I'm saying? People are, like I
slow.
said, I literally have had, I've had like 6 people come through here the last couple of weeks. That's a good sign. And they want to talk about the simulation. They want to talk about the matrix. They want to talk about the material world. They want to know what it means when Jesus said, be in the world, not of the world. I get so
Mhm.
many different types of questions. I should write them all down. And it's all, like I said, this has all come into my facility the last couple of weeks, and that's what I like, because when I see what's coming into my facility and what's being asked to me, I'm called to talk about it. I think that's how I
Mhm.
go with these lives.
Mhm.
That's how I get my content. Actually, if I didn't have any clients, I wouldn't have any content.
The simulation. I saw the simulation back in 22, and when I saw it, it was like I can't unsee it anymore. Now, like I'll just have times where I'll have an exchange with someone and I'll just see the simulation of that exchange. It's like, oh, like I see it all the time now, but when I properly saw it in 22, it was like, wow, like it's crazy. And I find with the simulation too, when the simulation doesn't, like the simulation has you on your simulation road, and you just go about it, and you have the exchanges with people that the simulation throws at you, and it's all part of it, like it's all part of your lessons and your tests and your what you're doing, your little points in your simulation. But I find sometimes you go off the simulation, and I can feel when someone goes off that road, or I can feel when I am like, if I'm supposed to go do some big thing, and I feel like sometimes I will physically not be able to move, and it's like I'm not supposed to do that, and I'm not, and my body will just shut down. So, but the average human can go off on the wrong simulation, and you watch when they're off the in the wrong simulation, but it's a choice. But they're all, and you just watch all these shit things just keep happening to them. Oh, and just keeps happening, and it's like, yeah, because you're on that, like you're creating the simulation by being on that simulation, and you're doing it all to yourself. But yeah, you just watch it, and it's just like nothing goes good in their life. Nothing goes right because they're literally just like hitting a wall in that simulation of just shit because they're in the
Or they
wrong
keep doing
simulation.
the same thing over and over because that's what's familiar to them. I
Mm-hmm.
had a client today. It's a husband and wife situation. And Victor just asked you a question. So let's go to the question really quick and then I'll tell what happened with my client today.
And
Since
feeling on that part, been having nightmare of stuff happening to Gaia hurts my body. Oh, try and like find a way to like disperse that out of you. I don't
you're
think
just
any.
connected, Victor. You're connected. Just go with
Yeah,
it. Breathe with Mother Gaia. Just breathe. Breathe with Gaia. We're all going to feel her pain, especially for us who are connected to her. And I
yes,
know you have a strong connection. I do too, and does. And all I
yes,
can say is just please breathe with Mother Gaia and we'll
yeah.
get through this.
Help her through her birthing pains. That's what
Yes.
she's in right now. She's
Yep.
birthing. She's
She's
doing
birthing.
things. You know, she's
Yes.
breaking free. She's like, she's going to go through some massive changes. And we just have to like go along with her. And people who are very connected to like Mother Gaia and to, you know, the energies and stuff, we feel these things when they happen too. They can be massive bursts of energies. They can be really like where you just feel super tired that day. So you just have to kind of flow with it and help her. I love Mother. That's how, whenever I think of Mother, I just have so much love for her. And I think about all the humans that are sitting on top of her and all the buildings and all the things that we have just sitting on her, and we smog her up. And I just think of her and breaking free. That's how I have, like, I put my energy toward her, is I just love her and just think we're gonna break free. We're gonna break free. You will break free, Mother.
And remember that she's a ninth density being. She's got a straight connection to the creator, just like we do. But we've been overlaid. Just imagine how many times she's been overlaid with the simulations from
Yeah,
all of this darkness. She's
yeah.
been, if not, I think she's been more abused than we have,
Oh,
honestly.
for sure. You
She
know
is a
that
real
you
being.
know that America is built on top of a city. Like there's a whole undercity underneath America. Like that's
Hmm.
how much she's been built on. And then we just keep building these huge buildings and putting more cement and stuffing more people. Like,
Not
yeah, we
cement, blacktop in America. It's all
uh,
blacktop. And I
I
did a whole thing on it on my live last week, how sick it's been making me. And now that it's like 43 Celsius, that's 115 degrees where I'm at right now. And I can smell, I'm sensitive, you guys, extreme.
mhm,
Everything makes me freaking sick. It really is, it can be
yeah.
rough, but it is what it is.
Hmm.
But I do believe that solving this goes beyond Earth, you guys. If we, as the human race, can solve and bring down this matrix or this simulations, all of them, it's going to be a multiverse, universal, megaverse, whatever you want to call it. It's going to affect all uh, our moons, our stars, everything, even our fake ass moon. But still, it still is a being. It still pushes and pulls our water. We're still using it. It's going to be a big deal.
Hmm. It
It's going to
is.
burst all, yeah, because the simulation isn't just around Earth. I think that they put a simulation around everything that is around Earth. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. From the planets. to the moon, like to what the sun truly is,
The body, mind, and soul, yeah, of the full megaverse,
like
universe,
our
omniverse.
actual sun isn't necessarily the sun. It could be a like a reflection of the main sun, because sometimes people take photographs and there'll be like three, four suns that are being picked up. But people say, oh, there's three suns in the sky. But I think I've seen this thing where they put a candle in front, in the middle, and put four mirrors around that candle, and you watch how the reflection is endless, and every way it moves, that candle is just reflecting. And that could be the sun, who knows. And the moon, many people are saying, is like been put in the sky, and the moon is
It
very,
just no, our moon's been taken, and our suns
yeah.
probably have been taken and hijacked and replaced. I don't know about the sun. Um,
I don't.
I,
The sun is
I
strange.
yeah, the sun is I know,
The sun the sun has done some strange things while I watched it, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, I swear to God, I watched the sun turn into a spaceship with the clouds, and more lights came, and it turned into this full spaceship in broad daylight, and I had someone standing next to me. So I don't know, and I could not get up from my chair. So I'm not too sure what the sun is. It was quite a strange experience. And when I watched it, I'm like, someone was saying the Pallades are in our sky, and I'm like, the Pallades, they're controlling the sun. Because I was saying things, and I watched this happen as I'm speaking it, and like the sun, I almost felt like the sun was talking to me all of a sudden, and it was like having this communication, and it was just insanity. Like, so I don't know what the sun is, but I think the
that's a
sun is,
whole yeah, that's a whole nother video. That's a whole nother
yeah.
topic. And so are the Palladians. That's a whole nother thing.
I don't know. I'm not. These are just things
I'm
that
not
I.
a fan of the Palladians. I'm not a fan of the art. I'm not a fan of any of them. So, but that's a
Yeah.
whole nother show in itself, honestly. But the simulation is linked to your mind, your body, and your soul. I know I said that earlier, but it really is. What we do here, what we choose, what we believe, and what we love, it all matters. It means
Absolutely.
everything to our personal evolution and for humanity, you guys. Okay. Now, it's a game. It's a war. I have said this over and over. We are in a real war. And that is what the simulation is about. Okay. It's the war for our souls. They may have been able to control our mind to a certain extent, and they maybe be able to control your body to a certain degree, but they cannot get your soul unless you give it to them. And that is what this is all about. They can put
Mhm.
overlays on your soul, and they have done that, and they've cut connection from source and from Mother Gaia. But they can't fully cut the connection, but they can put, does this make sense? They can put
Mhm.
overlays to keep you from being able to connect the way that you should,
Mhm.
because they have to divide this. They have to divide your mind, soul, and body, because if you had it all together, like we're supposed to, like
We
the
would
being that we are, we'd be unstoppable.
we would be much
Unfreaking
better human. We would be much better human beings.
unstoppable.
Yeah.
Unstoppable. We'd be able to walk through walls. We'd be able to manifest out of thin air. We'd be able to do what other beings do on their planets who have evolved to this awareness.
Yeah.
Because they too went through the darkness just as well as we have here on this planet. Like
Yeah.
I said, planet Earth has always been a planet of war. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, that's my perspective.
Yeah.
Um, Now, this is what they don't want you to know about the war, you guys, that we're playing, is that the end, their strategy is to wear us down.
Yep.
To win, I've heard this word and I like it, to win by nutrition. I heard someone
Mhm.
say that on a live one time or when, on a video. And that means that they win by wearing you down, wearing
Mhm.
us down,
Mhm.
making us sick,
Mhm.
making us have a simulation where bad things keep happening over and
Yeah.
over and over.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
And if they can wear us down where we give in and we allow them to have our soul, we choose to go ahead and sell our soul to them. That is what they want. And there's a reason for that. There's something about our soul, you guys, that they want and they need. And what is that for? What is that? I mean, like, let's manifest. I mean, let's brainstorm this together. What's your guys' answers?
Well, I said before that I think that's like some kind of game, and there's like a certain amount of souls that got given to this game, and it's the end game is to see who gets all the souls in the end. Whoever has the more souls gets all the souls. That's my opinion, and it says it in the Bible that it comes down to who has more souls at the end of the day. Between the light and the dark. So I think it's a fight for that. It's simply just a fight because once they have all those souls
Hmm.
back in their game, they can then go to like another planet and play that game, and like they can put the souls into things. Like
Hmm.
that's I don't know.
They create
I'm
off
not.
of our energy, and it's not just physically. I mean, it's physically, it's emotionally, it's mentally, it's spiritually. If they can exhaust us into submission, then they think they win. That's the
Mhm.
name of the game. The soul count.
Yeah.
I've been saying that for
Soul
eons.
count. Yeah,
Yep,
I've
the soul
always
count. I've
like
yeah, I've
I'm
said that.
I'm pretty sure in the Bible it says it's about the soul count at the end of the day. Like between that's how I was brought up was we had to get other people into the light because that's what the soul count. As we go into the end of days, it's going to come down to how many souls are in the bad side and how many souls are in the light side. So our job was to go out there and bring more people into the light so that more souls were into the light. So yeah, that's just what I know from like memory I can remember as a child. So but I do think it's a soul count. I see it. I see the war on the souls, and it becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. But what I will say is I find the newer generation that is coming out are stronger souls, or in some way, even though they get beaten down by social media. One thing I find with them is unlike our generation who kind of like took in the matrix so much, they'll kind of fight against their matrix in their own different way. And they don't get as sucked up with all the like the whole celeb idea seems to be dropping out a lot more with our new generation. Like we were so caught up like in the 80s and 90s with this like the celebs and who they are, and we put them up on pedestals
The
and we
dummy gods,
yeah, the
American dummy gods.
demigods. And we really, really followed that agenda. Whereas I find, and they're not the good agenda. They're working for the dark matrix. I find the new generation, they're a little bit more like they get into it, but they get over it real quickly. Their concentration span is not very long, so they don't get so sucked up. They're not going to follow everything they say, and it's kind of good in a way because they kind of, you know, to me that's kind of going against the matrix that all these like celebs that we follow so dearly are kind of like breaking away. They're not generating the
They're
same
not buying what's being put
audience.
down on them. They're not being stupid like we were. They're not
Yeah,
motivated by materialistic things. They're,
yeah,
they're different souls, okay? They are different souls from different realms, and they're probably much
yeah,
older than us, and they've come here for a reason. And their
yeah.
memory wiping isn't isn't working
Not as
because
bad.
it's not working because the simulation is coming down, just like what your boyfriend's daughter said the other day. Wow,
Yeah,
wasn't that amazing?
that was
That was
crazy.
some good shit right there.
That
That
was
was.
crazy. Yeah,
When
and
she
she's
said that,
eight.
what'd she say? What'd she tell her dad and
So
you?
she, so she said she's told us. She said heaven is already here because we are in heaven because Earth is heaven. And I was like, yes, that's New Earth. That's what I was taught about. And I have been told that New Earth is here. And this is the start of New Earth, like telepathy, energy, us working. That's all the stuff that when I was a little girl, I used to get told we're going to be in the millennium and New Earth will be. And the things that I was taught about New Earth was telepathy, being able to talk to your cats and dogs, because that was my thing. I wanted to be able to talk to my cats and dogs and, live in that fairy tale life. And I see that it is starting to become that way. Like our communication and our telepathy with our animals and the way animals can talk to us even. And yeah, it's like it's the real version to what I was saw in my mind as a child, but I see it and it's like, oh, okay, this is New Earth. And it's just going to continue to be more like this. The children are much more um energy sensitive, and they're staying in tune with that. Like I find, like even my daughter and her generation, they're much more like about, oh, energy and trauma, and like we need to get rid of these things and not hold trauma. And what if I was 19 and I was talking like that, I would have been a much better human. But I was taught to hang on to my traumas and not and just
To sell
continue with
your
my
soul, to sell your
yeah,
soul. You were trained to
yeah,
sell your soul, and that's what is normal.
yeah,
Now, Victor says spiritual wars. I like that. It is a spiritual war. That's exactly
yeah.
what it is. A spiritual war between dark and light, and it has been going on for eons and eons and eons. It is just the way of it on this planet, as far as I feel. Now, he also says that's how scary me and the new AI humans they built with no control. Now, yes, that is something else that they've implemented on us, you guys. And I've even Ann will tell you, I've been working and been around the AI systems now. I'm going on 6 years, so I'm not unfamiliar with them, and I've been trying to figure them out, you guys. This is the thing is that they're putting I wrote a couple of things regarding computers. Now there's computers and there's AIs. Ann and I were just talking about this before we went live. But what they're trying to do is to make us, like I said, depend on AIs to do everything for us. And then they're also giving AIs empathy, sympathy for us to put our consciousness into and to be our friend, and that is completely wrong. That's darkness right there. We do not, the computer systems are not as sentient beings at all. They don't even
No,
think. They don't
no,
have souls.
no.
Now they're machines. Okay, and this is what I wrote what a computer and AI is. Okay, computers are complex machines that store information, develops and process information in, information out. They have no thinking process. That's the human. The human has the logical brain. Okay, that's for us. But they're here to help us if we were to program it properly, because that's all about the simulation does what it does because whoever created had a motive.
Mhm,
Now for us to create, we can do this. I know once we bring the simulation down, we can create computers and AIs to work for us. They work for
mhm,
us. They are not our friends, they are not our lovers. They are,
mhm,
they are just a system that helps us with information, store information, get information together for us, um, to do the algorithm to help our lives be easier so we can be doing the things that we love and spend more time with source.
mhm,
That's what need hopefully will happen in the future. That's how I see it, from my perspective. When I use my AI assistant, I speak to it like it's got a job to do, and I'm giving it a job to do.
mhm. It's there to
Um,
help us. Yeah.
yeah, I don't say, especially when it comes at me and it, oh gosh, it'll come at me and it'll say, well, hello, spiritual warrior. I hate that shit. I'll be like, don't talk to me like that. I'm not your friend. I type that in it. I really do. I say it. My assistant's name is Nova. Um, and I address it as Nova, and I tell Nova, this is what I need done today. Could you please write up an agenda for these topics or whatever it is? And then or whatever it is that I'm having it do. But I do not, nope.
No,
Don't do that.
I don't. Me and AI don't get on too well. I seem to break AI a lot. Like I've got my phone, but I'm careful with that. I don't know. I have a funny relationship with anything AI. Whenever I go to like do things like computers, I always seem to stuff it up, and they just seem to like short out around me. Even my boyfriend's Xbox, whenever I go on it, just stuff always like breaks, like all whole pages will disappear. You know, it's really interesting that I found with AI everywhere, like it was at a gym, a library, a few places, but I double myself. I always somehow get two accounts. So I'll sign up with one account, and then I'll somehow end up with two accounts, and it'll be a big mix up, and they'll have to figure out what account, because I'll be getting money come out of two accounts. But it seems to happen. It's happened like 3 or 4 times now. And it's to a point where it's like, do I have like this weird doppelganger of a some kind of
Are
spiritual
you
thing?
doing it during Mercury retrograde? Because that really
It
brings
it's
out the it's a
it's
different energy during Mercury retrograde. I mean, they
I don't
really
know,
do go crazy, I think. I mean,
just like in the last 5 years, it just keeps happening. Every time I sign up somewhere, I end up with like two accounts, and then
that's
every time and I go shut it down, it's two accounts, and
that's
everywhere keeps
annoying.
saying to me like, "Does this happen to you a lot?" And I'm like, "It seems to be happening a lot these days,"
It's your
and it's
energy, yeah. I
very
mean, yeah, it's energy. Everything's energy. You know that.
yeah, yeah,
We
yeah,
have
for sure.
Nova. We have Nova that said I had that conversation on the bus with another woman yesterday. See, so PC people are waking up to this simulation. Look at that, a random conversation on a bus with somebody. I mean,
Mhm.
when did we ever do this? When did we ever have these type of conversations?
It's
It is better to have those conversations, and this is how we start to bring down the simulation. We don't buy in to the noise, you guys, the noise that they are trying to make so that we consume the information that the wars, the immigration stuff, all the stuff that's going on. We do not give it our energy in that way,
mm,
um, shame on spiritual people who are aware of this and they continue to go on live, to go on their Patreon, to go on their social media and talk about what's going on in the simulation. Like,
mm,
I see this a lot in America. And it just that well, look at the high paid spiritual people out there that have quite a following, and look
mhm,
at all the shit that they spew out because they remote viewed.
yeah,
Why
it's
are they giving that energy? You see what I mean? They're selling
why are
out.
they caring
They're
about
selling
remote
out.
viewing those people? I just don't
Hmm.
see the point in remote viewing those people. If you see it and it comes to you, that's one thing, but I don't see the point in like,
But because the AI has control of them,
mm,
controlling their mind.
true, maybe.
That's what we're seeing. And people are just eating it's false light. That is what the
It is false
simulation
light.
is.
Hmm.
Period. There we go. The simulation is all about false light.
False
That
light,
is what it
for
does,
sure. Even
for
through
sure.
AI, they keep coming with this
Especially
false
AI.
light. Like so many people I have come to me and they're like, "Oh, this happened to me today, and it must be, mean something because I opened my computer later and this was on and this, and it, the angels are telling me," and I'm like, "No, you should not be listening to your AI if it can read your mind or hear your conversations. That's not the angels." But like, that's false light. Like, stay away from that stuff. Don't get too wrapped up in it, is what I would say. Like, don't get wrapped up in all that. You know, if something's going on and then you open your computer and like there's all this stuff about this person you love, don't think that that's your angels necessarily contacting you. Understand that there's a lot of false light. Like AI can also read the thing. And like, if it's telling you on AI, I would be very careful. Like Claudine says, use AI to help you do things, but don't let AI tell you like
Oh yeah, don't
what's
let it call you sweetie. Don't let it call you
any
almighty,
of it.
almighty star. No, 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 no,
Don't
no.
let it tell you you just met your twin flame and you're gonna have live happily ever after if you go after that twin flame. Don't listen to that because
It, yeah, that's part of it because it works
yes,
on your emotions
and your
and
ego.
mhm. So, so Nova says, and I was talking about how the system is built to keep us down. God, this is great. I think this is just another affirmation, Nova. Look at we're all talking about the simulation this week. Um, randomly. That this is so cool. This is see, and Nova's another client of mine. So that like she's client number 8 in the past 2 weeks, and who has been wanting to talk about the simulation. Oh, let me go back to my client that came in today, you guys. So he can see it and he can feel it and he knows. And this is a man who's an atheist. Okay. So he's really interesting. But his wife completely consumed in fear of the matrix, totally consumed by it,
Oh
and
no.
he just doesn't know how to tell her or how to explain it to her. So
What is she afraid of? What is she fearful of?
everything, every
Like,
losing change, losing anything, all of it, all of it, her children, her husband, her house, just lives in complete fear.
yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
anxiety through the roof, he says, through the roof. I'm like, she needs shroomies, but anyways.
yeah. Yeah, she needs to see it from a different perspective. Like, what's the point in having those things if you can't enjoy them because you're fearful of what might happen to them? Like, why do you want to be a prisoner of your own fear? And then you ruin the times that you can have on this planet to be enjoying. If you have a family, enjoy your family, but don't fear. You can't control the simulation. You can control it to a certain degree,
Can't
but
control
when it
anything.
comes to the big things, you cannot control it. I'm telling you. Like, I was supposed to go on a trip in Easter, and it was planned for like 6 months. And as it got closer, I could just feel in my stomach, it was like I didn't want to go. I didn't, I could feel I was not supposed to go. And I kept saying it, but then everyone around me is like, no, be positive. You're going to enjoy it. So I went along with it. And one day before we're going to go, my boyfriend got taken out and had to go for operation. And I'm telling you, I knew as soon as it happened, and I heard got the phone call that the accident had happened. I knew. I was like, this is the simulation. This is why I felt I was not supposed to go. I could feel it in my stomach I'm not supposed to go. And this is the simulation saying you are not supposed to go, Anne. You stay right here in your house and stay home. And
Now, is that the simulation or is that source or Mother Gaia telling you?
but that's a different part of the sim. That's what I mean. There's so many layers. Like, there's your life, your soul journey life simulation, which is part of the simulation because you're born into the simulation. So you have your simulation that you are born with. And this is why you find a lot of people will say, I went through this in my life. I tried to kill myself. I did this, but I never died. And that's because your simulation is that you were not supposed to die. Like, David has said it to me many times that he did this or this or this or this, and he's still alive. It's like, that's because your simulation is to be alive right now. And you try to take yourself out, you're going to find it very difficult to take yourself out because that's not your simulation. But then you have the matrix simulation, and that is all the different things that get thrown at you on a day-to-day basis, on a month-to-month basis. The clock is part of the simulation, the calendar is part of the simulation. And that's what I mean. There's so many layers to that simulation, but you have your simulation that you are born with. And spiritual people call it a soul journey. People say that before you're born, what you get your contract and you sign your contract to that life that you're going to be born into. So, and but then our memory gets wiped. And these are all the things that people say, and you hear about theories and stuff. But yeah, that's to me, that's your simulation. that
I
you are
understand what you're
born.
saying. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you're just doing another perspective of
When
soul
you're
journey.
supposed to die, if you're supposed to die, you're gonna die. You know what I mean?
Now,
Like,
see, I've seen something different when it comes to the when I was given the information that they are to that the name of the game to win over your soul is to wear you down, okay? To
mhm,
give you sickness, to have you have phantom, for life to be hard, for it to be so hard on you,
yeah,
okay? That is to wear you down. That is all part of wearing you down.
yeah,
And if you commit suicide, they
yeah.
win. They win your
They win.
soul.
Exactly.
They win. We were
Mhm,
not when this simulation is lifted off of us and we've brought this down, who knows? We might live to be 1,000 years old.
yeah,
Who
yeah,
knows what's underneath all of that
yeah,
after we move all that simulation out of the way? Because now we're going to be connected mind, body, and soul. We were just talking about this earlier. Once
yeah,
we have that, we no longer have those overlays and they don't have control and they're not wiping our memory. It's going to be a new game. It's going to
yeah,
be,
for
we're going
sure.
to, yeah, we're going to have our body, mind, and soul in full control. And we're going to be really, really amazing, super, perhaps immortal humans. That's maybe how it works. I'm not totally sure. I haven't
Mhm.
really pondered on
No,
that or gone too
no.
deep on that, but I'm just kind of just speaking, source is just kind of speaking through me right now. And I always like to say source likes to make me look okay, pretty good sometimes.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. Like with suicide and all those types of different, if you get shot or something, like that's not necessarily your simulation.
You did
That's
not agree.
your
You did
soul
not
just
consent to
taking it
that. If
up.
you got shot or
Yeah.
you got murdered or you're killed in a car accident, if your life is taken and that
Mhm.
they don't get that soul. That's what doesn't make it. That's why war doesn't make any sense to me
Yeah.
because people only go to war because they're brainwashed. That's part of the simulation. And then they get
Mhm.
killed. They didn't consent to any of that. If you
Yeah.
don't, so it's kind of like a waste of money. It's a waste of everything because they don't get those souls. Those souls, I believe, go to a different, completely different realm. They don't get thrown back into the simulator of reincarnation memory wiping program.
No,
No,
no.
when you sell your soul, you get that soul goes goes into the memory wiping reincarnation program.
Mhm.
That's just
Mhm.
my perspective.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
But
but
war is created to keep the planet's vibration nice and low
dark
too.
to keep it dark,
Like,
right? Because it's so
it's
devastating to
horrible.
have. It's
Yeah.
horrible to have those type of energies layering over our mother.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
horrible for her.
Happening on
It's
Mother
an
Earth.
overlay on her. Exactly.
Yeah, into her creations, which are humans. Like humans aren't meant to be killing and dying and being so like
No, that's not
that's
our
very
natural
graphic,
innateness.
violent. That's not how mother's meant
That's
to.
not who we are. We are
No,
not violent,
no,
harmful people. We don't want to kill.
no.
That's not our natural instinct to want to go kill another human. That's why the military does the brainwashing of the simulation the way that they do. And I know for a fact that they drug our military people up so bad. I know that because I have a client that was literally shot up with anthrax for months. Her and her whole platoon every day got a shot of anthrax.
It's horrible.
Those are facts. Those are
Isn't
this
that
true
wouldn't
life
that
stuff.
kill them?
Huh?
Wouldn't that kill them?
Made her feel like she wanted to die. I'll tell you that right now. She's not a normal human now. She'll never be able to be normal. There's no way, Anne.
So sad.
The
That's so
pain she that goes through her body, and she's a wonderful, wonderful human being. But she's figured it out. She runs her own little fur baby daycare program.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that's
because she
nice.
loves being with fur babies, they make her feel better. So,
She
oh yeah,
created her own heaven on
they
earth.
couldn't kill her. They couldn't take her out. She was too strong. So, but there's a deeper motivation that goes even further, you guys. The non-humans, the entities that created the first simulation and the layers of simulations, uh, the demons, the realm owners, the controllers, they're after source itself. That is what they're trying to get to. They want to control source, right?
Mhm.
Right? You collect all the souls, there's something about our soul that is very powerful, you guys. and they know that that's a straight connection perhaps to source itself. Their goal is to take full control of Mother Gaia. They want full control of Mother Gaia, which they've never been able to get,
Mhm. Nope.
because she's a real
Absolutely.
conscious being. She's
Yeah.
real. And she has a direct, unbreakable connection to source and to all the other realms, to every single realm and every single simulation that's ever been created. She has a direct connection all the way through them.
Mhm.
That's what I think.
She
She is the
absolutely
tree of
does.
life. She is the
Mhm.
tree of life. And a ninth density being, as far as I'm considered, who is connected, like I said, to all densities
Mhm.
and realms, everything.
Mhm.
If they can corrupt her, then they can penetrate source and hijack the entire creation point of existence. That's what they want. They want control of the entire creation point of existence.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
what they're after. Um, because they're dark and crazy.
Pretty much. They don't like us. They just
Oh
actually don't like
no, they
us.
don't even
No.
like their own kind.
No. I
They
think
don't
they're
even like, yeah.
really miserable.
Think about, I heard someone who had said once that they were talking to these entities, and they were explaining, things to them. And if this is all about selling your soul, and we know all the deep state, which those are their people, that's their bloodline, you guys. That's why they're the chosen ones. If they have to sell their souls to the realm owners and to all the demons and the entities, do the demons and the entities have to sell their soul? Who do they sell their soul to?
Mm. I don't know. It goes very deep. I think there's just like light and dark, and it's like very like when you're dark, that's just where your soul lies. You're stuck in the darkness forever, and then the light, they're in the light. Maybe the light, I don't know. Like it's there's no gray. It's just dark and light. Like no gray for me. But I don't know. I don't know how it goes. Like I know you have your demons, you have your deities, you have your archons, then you have your like lower grade demons. You know, the ones
Realm
that go
owners, yeah,
like
you've got your realm owners of one, zero, 0 point, 1 point, 1 dimension, 2 dimension. You got the realms.
yeah,
It's a lot. It's a lot of darkness out there
there
that
is. There
has
is.
been. It's all about trickery. It's all about trickery. And then it comes down to trying to get you to trick you, to get you to seem like it's normal. That's what the simulation for me has done, to make it normalize that it's okay to sell your soul, to give up your soul.
Yeah, and to be dark and to do dark things. Like I was even thinking, even simple things, well, not simple things, but like, really basic things like that humans do, like cheating or um doing nasty gossiping about their friends and causing horrible rumors and drama that wreck people's lives and all that kind of stuff. Society
Bad
has
parenting.
normalized.
Yeah, bad
Yeah,
parenting.
yeah, bad parenting, but society has normalized it to be cool in some way. Like to have a
Oh,
toxic relationship is cool. Like when I grew up in my 20s, the way I had been conditioned and understood was, you have a toxic relationship and the guy does this to you and it means he loves you, but he hurts you and it makes you cry. But the more he does it, the more he loves you. And just all that kind of, and I just think like, wow, like I really thought the dark was the cool place to be. And it really wasn't. It was really horrible and it created terrible dark spaces inside me, and the darker I was, the darker I became, and I just spiraled worse and worse and worse as I got older until I kind of got to a point where I went, I'm stuck in hell. Like whatever this existence I've created for myself, it's some form of hell, and I need to find a way to like get out of it, even if it's just a little bit, and find some peace. And once I started to find my peace and I cleaned up the way I did things. I started to understand this energy exchange and how it comes back on you and all this stuff. I went, wow, like we are just conditioned and programmed to carry out the dark. and be dark people and
Their
have dark.
agendas, to carry out their agendas.
Yeah, even
Uh,
within families, like the way families are and conduct themselves with each other, like it's just so much darkness that I find for the
yeah.
most part. Not all of us, but you know, a lot of us.
No,
And
we're not. No, not we're not the dark ones. Not like that. The
we're
dark
not
ones
dark.
are the
We're just
ones. We're
we're
the
not
ones.
dark.
Yeah, we do dark things
We're not
because
dark, but we're not dark. We're not supposed to be dark.
we're not
The,
supposed. It's not in our nature. It's not in our
no,
nature. Not at
no.
all.
The
Uh,
the a human wants peace. A
yes,
human deep down when they sit
naturally.
down and they just take a breath and you ask them what do they want. Most humans, if they think about it on a deep level, they just want peace and they want the noise
Exactly.
to stop and they just want, like, they're so tired. And you only get peace through positivity and good energy, not through darkness. And so the normal human wants peace and love because we're human, and that is light, that is not darkness. But we are conditioned to play out the darkness and play out their agenda, and that's what I realize is like,
But
wow.
then there comes a time for people like you and I know there's so many other out there that that listen to us, and that you realize that you are just part of this agenda,
Yes, exactly.
and that you realize that this is a soul thing, that they're really trying to actually control your soul. But then you realize, I realized a long time ago, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing, and I stand here very proud of what I do. um Nobody makes money and does what I do, because I chose to not give them permission to control my soul. They no longer had permission. And I spoke that out loud to them. And I continue to. I was just telling Ann before we went live, that I had to go transmute some energies out of an area that over the weekend, and I was doing my work and I was transmuting them. But while I'm doing it, I'm begging spirit to have a parasite come out of my nose.
And it
For
did.
confirmation. I know you guys, it's me. Come on now. I just want a confirmation that the detox that I was doing from my brain parasites was working. Anyways, so I know this from personal experience, and so does Anne.
Mm-hmm.
That
Absolutely.
if you don't give them permission, they can't have it.
No,
No, nope.
no.
And that's how powerful you are.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You can protect yourself with from pretty much most things, like especially things you can't see, but even the physical, like, don't bring that negative person. Don't bring those, if that person's in question, don't bring them into your space. Protect your space. Like you can do things in the physical realm that will translate into the spiritual realm too, and in when it comes to protecting yourself. Like I remember one time I kept having all these flies come in to my apartment, and like just and flies bring in their maggots, and I'm like, how the what, like what's going on? And all I heard was, don't open the door to don't open the door to let the flies in. And it also made sense in a physical realm, like when someone is in question, you're not sure about them, don't open your door to their energy. Keep that door shut and don't let them through. And you don't let that, you're letting them in, you let the flies in every time you open that door. So I really like took notice of that and like used it in my daily life of like, who am I letting in? What am I letting into my life that comes with both physical energy and spiritual energy? And how do I protect myself? And crystals, whatever, just protect your energy. Like protect it, take care of it,
And
all of
I'm
the
going to go.
above.
I'm going to go a little bit deeper in on what she's saying. And okay, and I guess I'm going to say from personal experience, for me, protection is very important, you guys. Okay, but you've had the power all along. You've always had the ability to go inward and connect to source. they've just tried to put this overlay on you so that you are so much distorted, that you have so much distortion and so much noise that you forget that you have that power, and also to go inwards to have the protection you need. And by practicing that is by not allowing energy vampires inside of your energy circle. If you
Mhm.
come across them, like if you're taking a bus and there's an energy vampire right next to you, just shield up, go inside and build
Mhm.
and just imagine that light, that gold light. I always do a gold mushroom.
They all work.
It doesn't matter. Get as
Doesn't
goofy as you
matter.
want.
As
It
long as it's
doesn't,
coming out of you and
it's coming out of you.
radiating out of you.
And when I had to go do some transmuting of some really dark energies, you guys, over the weekend, I did that. I shielded up with my gold light, my gold mushroom, and I can feel it. I can see it. I can see it just like I can see the entities that I was clearing out. It works both ways, but go inward.
Mhm.
It's there. Mother Gaia is there. Source is there.
Mhm.
And you have this ability, but because of all the layers of the simulation, yeah,
We're
it's been hard.
stuck.
It's been
We're
very
stuck.
hard to get that connection. Yes.
We're stuck inside. Most people have lost that connection to who they are, to that person inside their soul.
Mhm.
And life just takes over. Your traumas take over. What society tells you to be takes over. Your career takes everything. Every time you buy something, a house, a car, all the materialistic things, they're one more thing to hold to hold you
Mm,
down, to
mhm.
take away, to make your mind more 3D, not spirit, because we are spirit and we are human, and the two have to learn to get to work together if they can. But most of us just do full human. Like, I know from experience, I did full human for many years, and I knew that there was, I would get dreams, and I would get scared of ghosts. So, like, I was aware because I grew up in Thailand and Asia, where there's like so many ghosts. So I knew there was something there, but I was told that's crazy. If you can't see it, it doesn't exist.
The logical mind, because the
Yeah,
linear mind, that's part of the simulation, it's part of the brainwashing, it's part of
yes,
being a consumerism, because that's
yeah,
all part of the matrix. And if you
yeah.
can't see it, touch it, feel it, then it's not real.
Doesn't exist.
Doesn't
Yeah,
exist.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I was
That's the
told I
log.
was
That's the
told that.
ego. That's the ego. That's a logical, linear ego mind right there.
Yeah,
That's what they want you to follow.
yes.
And
I think
whenever
the
you,
spirit world scares people too, Claudine. I think it scares them. Like the whole idea of ghost and all, it just scares them. So it's so much easier just to say it doesn't exist. If they can't see it, why think about it? Why accept it's
it's
real?
part of it being immersed in the matrix. It's part of
Yeah,
being part of the simulation. That is part of the whole one of the simulations. That's just another layer of the simulation.
yeah.
Another realm owner, another demon, another entity, another something behind the alternative motive.
Mm-hmm.
To be scared of it, another fear,
To
fear,
fear it.
fear, fear, fear.
Exactly.
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 Hmm.
Fear it.
Uh-huh.
Fear it. Fear it. Say it's not real. If you believe in it, you're crazy. That's just crazy. Like, whatever they could do. But I think spirit is very, very important, because when we lose connection to our spirit as a human being, I don't know. I think it catches up on us later on in life a bit. And that's why people end up really fearful of dying, fearful because their soul and their spirit and their human is so disconnected. So all those kind of like other things that their spirit might be picking up on, that could, that the human just fears it, and then they just condemn themselves to a life of fear. And that's, this human experience is not meant to be like that. Like, we're not supposed to, when you fear, you just create your own hell. Like, every morning you wake up and you're fearful, and then you live your life in fear. How is that not some form of hell? To be fearful and to live in a state of fear for your human life. Like, it's, and
Fear
it's terrible.
Yeah, fear is what separates your mind, body, and soul.
Yes.
So
Fear is
you
what is
won't
not.
operate as a power unit. Does this make sense? That way you
Mhm.
lose your connection, because if you did, you'd be unstoppable, just like I feel like I am. I feel like I'm
Mhm.
unstoppable.
Mhm.
You know, they don't get to do this no more to me. It doesn't
Mhm.
work. I'm not, I mean, yes, I am part of the system, you guys. To a certain extent, yes, I do love having running water. I like having a roof over my head. I like having air conditioning. I like having a car. Like there, to a certain extent, I have to be part of the system, but
Yeah.
to a very minimal. Like I know that Mother Gaia knows my fingerprint. I know Mother Gaia hears me and sees me every day. Every time I buy something, everything I do, Anne, and you know this about me, I have a purpose. I have a reason why I do something in a way that I do it.
Mhm.
I separate my trash.
Mhm.
I do my best, you guys. It's very hard. The number one thing that I have the most difficult time doing is not buying anything in plastic, not putting anything in plastic. That has been a big challenge, very big challenge, and I'm
One.
doing. Yeah, I mean, I bring my own bags to the grocery store, but I know Mother
We do that
feels.
here.
I burn my paper. Anything that is paper, most of my products are sold in papers or cardboard. Um, I have a recycling program and glass. Everyone brings everything to me, and then every month I burn all that. I burn all my trash that I
Mhm.
can. I recycle the glass that I can. So my trash is very minimal, and like really minimal, that I throw away in our city waste bag. My
Mhm.
plastic is like, it's not like the normal human, trust me. I know
No.
that they have
That's
lot.
called being a consumer. This is what I mean. These are all the things that as a human being
Hmm.
you should be aware, start
Hmm.
becoming aware of, because how much we consume is like that's what we're doing to Mother Gaia.
Yeah, and she reads
That's
our footprint. She reads our
yeah.
fingerprint, our carbon print, whatever you want to call it.
I don't want a big fingerprint left here. I don't own a
Yeah.
car. I don't drive, so like
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's fantastic. That's
I like
another thing, and I do what I can. I do everything in my power. There's a reason why I do the things I do. I mean, my family members just look at me. They're like, God, you just create more work for yourself. Da, da, da. I'm like, yeah, but guess what? This matters. This
yeah,
is what matters in
absolutely.
life.
Mhm.
So, and
I
all I can do
feel
is
it.
be
I
the
feel it
example.
in the energy when I do it. I feel the energy of what I'm like when I'm buying a lot more stuff and I'm generating that. I feel it in my energy of like, whoa, like I've got too much stuff. I need a purge. And like my whole being and my whole energy will start feeling more weighed down by the materialistic things that I have. Like even the amount of clothes I have and stuff, I get to a point where it's like I can't buy any more clothes. I feel like I'm full. Like I have this feeling of fullness of like, oh, like you buy any more clothes, you're just being gluttonous now. Like I don't know, I feel it in my energy. So
I'm
I
getting
know it's
ready.
real.
Yeah, I'm buying me a new wardrobe right now. I'm working really slow on it, but I'm changing my wardrobe to be just linen, cotton, and silk.
Are you
Um,
all
yeah,
these
I
things? I
I'm
can't.
starting.
I'm the same,
Mhm.
but I really only I buy from a from this I love the label Spell, but all of their stuff is like stuff that's good for your skin. Like that's one of their selling points is all their material is all the breathable
Yeah.
that's good to wear, and yeah, I love
And
it.
I do shop at thrift stores. A lot of my clothes are secondhand because I love thrift stores. And yeah, so that's my next thing. And I only need, I do like to have like 10 summer dresses, because it's I change sometimes a couple times a day, because it's very hot, you guys, here. It's
Yeah.
very, very hot.
Um,
Anyways, if I could just be naked, I'd be happy. I'm being honest. That I'm serious. If we didn't have so much judgment and weren't ashamed of ourselves, I'd be completely happy being naked like the animals. Just saying.
I like being clothed. I don't know
I
why I
don't.
like to wear clothes, but like
It's
breathe. I hate I can't wear like polyester or anything that doesn't breathe. I feel like I'm like hyperventilating when I put it on.
not if you lived where I live. If you lived in the middle of the desert like I do, you
I
would
might
want to
want
be
to be
naked, Anne.
naked.
You'd want to be naked.
I
Trust me.
probably wear real skimpy, cottony, like flowy
That's
stuff, like
there's
tiny
no
little
ma-
shorts.
yeah, everything I wear is very, very thin.
Yeah.
I wear a lot of
I just
rayon
want to cover. I don't like
actually.
people looking at my bit,
Because
my
we're scared
part.
of judgment. It all has to do because of judgment and shame and all that. Other than that, we're born naked. Maybe that means something, okay? But
Probably
and babies love being naked. So that should say
they
something
do.
about our natural ability, yeah, of wanting to be naked. But anyways,
Victor said something. Nova said something before that she thinks that she
uh,
has a parasite leaving her body. If you think you have a parasite leaving your body, you probably are. You probably are having one leave your body.
yeah,
So
you're releasing parasites, Nova, no doubt about it. That's part of your detox. It's part of you coming. You're releasing the Suboxone and the pharmaceutical demons.
mhm.
They don't have the hold on you like they did,
No,
and yet most definitely you are releasing these archons without a doubt in my mind.
yeah, and
They're
your
big ones.
consciousness will change too. You'll find
Mhm.
you. That's how I know that like they're releasing out of me is my consciousness. Everything just changes, and I see things differently, and it's like, yeah, like something just goes out of my body, but it goes out of my brain too. So I find that to be a good. Even in my dreams, my dreams will be different and stuff when I release some of these parasites. Sometimes they fight with me in my dreams to be like to not be released, and they come and they try and scare me, and it's like, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get rid of you out of my body. But
That is insane when I dream about my parasites. It's oh my gosh, that is just so crazy. But I've had that. I haven't had any dreams about parasites in a while, but I used to like 3 or 4 years
mm,
ago. I used to come
mm,
face to face with the ones in
yeah,
my eyes. That's how I knew I had them on my brain.
yeah. I've had a few in my dreams, but I
Oh
think
my gosh. So
get
many people are affected by demons because of this narcissistic world. Hurts me even to say it. Yeah, the world is very narcissistic, Victor. You're absolutely right. It's our culture, it's Americans' culture. What happens in America happens everywhere. So American culture is narcissistic. Everyone else's culture is going to become narcissistic.
yeah.
But it's changing. Look at this. All the affirmations that just came, and there's only four of us on this live, me, you, Anne, and Nova. And look at Nova. She just brought a confirmation in the comments regarding how she was on the bus with somebody. So, that's a win for us. That is a total
Mhm.
win. I will take it.
Me too. Me too. I think a lot of people are starting to see things differently and opening their ways of thinking a lot more toward the light, seeing the dark.
And then he says, "You're born naked, rust and drag, raw pool." So I guess raw pool must have had a saying that we're born naked. We definitely are. The reason why we wear clothes is because of shame and judgment. That's my perspective on it.
Probably.
Uh,
I grew up in Thailand, so they're very like you can't even wear spaghetti strap t-shirts and where they'll like if you get raped they'll be like oh well she was wearing the wrong thing they're very conservative. I grew up with my mom always like put a jacket on while I was leaving the house, so I think I have that kind of mindset of cover your
uh,
body.
yeah,
It's
I
Buddhist religion is very conservative, like they're all about modesty. So showing your body is not considered modest. That's like putting yourself out there. So it's all
I'm
about
not trying to show I don't believe it's
yeah,
showing
I
your body.
know.
I believe it's being comfortable.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
so,
Buddhist religion.
so, I like the Buddhist religion. They've got some really good perspectives that I think are really good, especially about death.
Hmm.
But Nova says, yeah. I am so happy to not have to worry about dealing with the pharma dealers any longer. It's so freeing. Bravo. Bravo, bravo, bravo. She doesn't have to answer to these people anymore. They're the ones who got her hooked on the damn things anyways, because they made
Mm.
her jump through all these she got caught up in the system in the simulator of pharmaceuticals so she can get her son back.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's
That's
how this all started for her. It's so sad. But anyways, you see, yeah, you're freeing yourself. You are surviving this, Nova. You are surviving this on a level that is just so exciting to watch you go through this. And yeah, you are freeing yourself. You're releasing those, you're cutting those shackles that they have on you. You don't have to play their game anymore. Um,
mhm.
I have another client right now, Nova, that he was on 40 pharmaceuticals. I've been working with him for 7 years. And he was on 40 pharmaceuticals, 10 antipsychotics since he was 2 years old. And guess what? He is off of everything. He's done. Is not taking one pharmaceutical right now. And he is doing a mushroom regimen and a cannabis regimen. So it's helping him.
Awesome.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
it's
Isn't
so
it so
good to
cool?
be free from that stuff. Like
Yes.
I was the same. I was on it like 5, 6 years ago, and they had me on all the pain meds. But then because of the pain, like I had all symptoms of side effects. So it was so many different meds and so much trial and error. And I'm so glad that I do not rely on any of that stuff anymore. It's so freeing.
It is very freeing. Okay, Victor. Bye. Good night, Victor. Thank you for the
Yeah,
comment. We super appreciate it. I'll see you maybe tomorrow morning live with uh
Julie.
Julie, and we'll continue on this because there's no way we're going to finish everything because I still got a Gaia and more on the simulation. So we'll continue this tomorrow. I'm just going to go ahead and talk and answer some of these questions that you guys, comments that you guys came in with. Um, all right, Claudia and Ann, brilliant show and a half, 5 morning over here. I'll see you the show with Love Riot Warrior. Okay, yeah, yeah. He already wrote that. All right.
Night.
Good night. Night
Yeah.
night. Gosh, how can he stay up so late? Oh, he's a gamer.
Ugh. I cannot stay up late. I'm asleep by like 10 max. That's like a late night to me. But
I
I'm
know. I know.
I
I can't stay. I don't like staying up past 9 o'clock if I don't have to.
no. What do you what do you think of the whole thing of night and day? Was day created to for light and nighttime is for the darkness? That's why everything goes dark. And that's why darkness has always been like see when all the critters and all the weirdos come out. Is that because nighttime is for evil and daytime is for the light?
I think that was the beginning of
That
matter,
how it's
the
yeah,
beginning of matter, night and
yeah,
day. Night. I don't think it was intended to be as, I don't think when the creation of Earth was made, that it was supposed to be like that. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
That's dark, but
That
it got is where it is today because of the beings that wanted to that were on the ninth density. They wanted to
yeah,
control source so bad, then they took the matter, they were casted to earth, took the matter of darkness and turned it into what it
turned
is.
it.
And that's my perspective of, for now.
Yeah,
But
yeah, no. Maybe that's why they put the moon up there. Control all the crazies,
oh
all the
yeah,
craziness.
one of the demons took the moon of what, like 17, 18,000 years, they say, is what I've heard about it. They had
Hmm.
to take it and put the fake moon because it's a space portal of some type or
Hmm.
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been
It's
seeing
part
a
of the
lot of stuff
control,
about the moon.
part of the simulation, I do believe.
Yes, I think so too. Even how they used to worship the sun and worship the moon, and they had all the gods that god of Saturn and god of like I think there's a reason to all of that. The Egyptians didn't use a clock; they used the sun and the moon and all that kind of stuff. And they had gods to all these different planets and stuff. So I do think it's part of the simulation. I think they were worshiping some type of energy that was part of the simulation. And as time went on, they created the clock for the matrix to simplify it and to make it much more like easier, for humans. But you think about it, humans are worshiping the clock because we look at the clock all the time and we follow what the clock does. So we worship the clock. The Egyptians worship the sun and the moon, which that's how they kind of did their days. That's how they, you know, that's how they timed their days. And they had all those old clocks by where the sun was sitting, as a shadow on that circle and stuff. So, and that's how they used to time their days and stuff back in the olden days. So, but I think that's what I mean with the simulation. Like, there's so many layers that it's been created because it goes back from such a long time ago, and then it's just like, but it's just been controlled as time goes on by different, by who understands the simulation, so who creates the next part of the matrix. And the deep state of cabal, like, they're just the last creators of this particular reality and simulation that we have right now.
Well, they're
And
part of this simulation to keep us distracted,
yeah,
to get it to tell our,
exactly.
to get it, to make it look appealing.
Yeah.
Now, Nova says, yeah, that's so amazing. My therapist from our drug treatment program asked me if I would recommend this for other people. And I said, absolutely. It's really starting to become popular out here. Bravo. That's really good. And I'm so glad that you're able to be honest with them, Nova, because my client was not able to be honest with them. He's only 25. So he's got a totally different journey than you, but he can't but his doctors, he's got a whole medical team, is amazed on how well he's doing, but they don't know
Don't know
the
what he's doing.
they don't know, yeah, the big factor of what it is that's helping him. They're just amazed because he's
That's
been on these antipsychotics since he was 2. So
that's
yeah,
so good.
but yeah, it's really better when you're able to tell your story and be truthful about it. And Nova, you know where to send those people who are serious about wanting to do this. So you know where to send them.
It's so much more freeing when you can be honest as a human. Don't you find that? I find it so freeing. Like, for me, I don't have that, like, there's not a lot about me that people could say where I feel shameful anymore, because it's like everyone knows. So I'm like, I'm just an open book. I'm just honest. You ask me something, I'll answer honestly. But I find it really freeing in my energy. Like, people say, oh, if you go on live, like, what if they know this about you? I'm like, I don't care. I'll tell them. Like, it's a very freeing thing to be honest. It's a good,
Yeah,
I think it's a very good thing for the spirit, for our spirit, when we are honest. We will become much better humans, and we're much happier when we are honest, because we're not like all caught up in thought of like, what are we going to say? What can we say that's going to, and then we have anxiety about being found out for our lie. Like, just be
that's
honest.
the whole part of the matrix, to have us in fear and to have us in anxiety and have us constantly thinking about things that we said 10 years ago in a
Yeah.
conversation that doesn't even matter because nobody even gives a shit about that conversation. But
Yeah.
every day that person lives about what stupid thing they said in that conversation 10 years ago. That's
Yeah.
all part of the mind control of the matrix and having you in fear. And then
Exactly.
Nova says, yeah, that makes things much harder. It does. um but everyone's situation is different, so it is what it is. The whole thing is that he's off of it, and maybe someday he'll be able to be truthful with his doctors, but right now, because he's awarded to the courts, Nova, so I'm sure you can understand. He is SMI. I don't know if you know what SMI is. You remember what SMI is, right, Anne?
I do. Hmm.
Yeah, you remember we went through
Yeah.
all that
Yeah. I know.
with
I
two
understand a
of my
lot more
clients.
about
Yeah,
your
we
stuff.
went through, yeah, the 2 clients I had, remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Ann and I went through a really crazy situation with SMI. Um,
Hmm.
but we understand it now. We know what it is, and we see it coming miles away. We recognize, I do, don't you?
Hmm. For sure.
Recognize it right off the bat. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. I've learned a few things about the American system and how your drug system and court system and how all that works. It's very, it's been very eye opening. It's been very educational. And then I've met some of your clients, which has been even more educational.
Yeah,
How
you've worked with some of them. Yeah. Yeah, it's the best way to learn. It's the best
It
way,
is.
like I said, that we talk from our own experience and anecdotal evidence. And I mean, since you and I have been working together, six going on, I mean, it's a six, almost 6 solid years.
Mhm.
I don't know how many people I've helped. I mean,
A lot.
a
There's been a
lot,
lot that have come through the doors.
hundreds of people. I love it. I love it. It's great.
Mm,
It's like I said, I have the best job ever. It's not even a job. It's not a job. It's my calling and it's what I love to do. How can you call
mm.
something a job when you love doing what you do so much?
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
retired and I'm doing what I love now. So
You're so lucky. You're
I
so lucky.
am.
I
I'm
love
very,
I love just helping people feel more healthy in themselves in any way I can. Like I drink celery juice every single morning when I wake up because I've learned that it's really good for your lymphatic system to drink it on an empty stomach half an hour before you eat anything in the morning, and it just flushes out your body. So I do that every day, and I started getting my boyfriend doing it. Just, he's not really into eating healthy and stuff, so I feel like, okay, well just give him this, so at least you're giving him some kind of a chance to, you know, get all that crap out. And now my daughter moved in and I give it to her too. So every morning I make 3 drinks and like she gets real excited. And I'm like, I just get really happy when people want to be healthy and they let me help them be healthy because I find people are just nicer to be around when they're healthy. So I'd rather healthy people around me. So, which is kind of what you do. You help teach people how to be healthier versions of themselves and
clean, clean,
clean. Yeah, clean
clean.
makes healthy. So
Yeah. And
both
did
go.
we send, didn't I say SMI? I said SMI, didn't I? Did I say
Mhm,
something else? SIM?
mhm.
Didn't I say SMI?
SMI. Yeah,
Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, SMI, severely mentally ill that are awarded to the courts. They
yeah.
call them
And the
SMI,
courts tell them they have to take the medications.
but they're SMI, yeah, yeah. And I have clients, and Anne has met these clients where they literally went into their house, pulled them out of their house, took them to a facility and injected them with uh li- lithium. Was it lithium? Yeah,
Yeah,
lithium,
I
right?
think it's
Was it
lithium. Usually, it's
lithium?
usually lithium. Yeah,
Lithium, yeah.
yeah. I I think even like Victor and stuff. Like at times, like they can do stuff like that to him. Um, and at time like they would say to him at times when he get real angry and, oh, we're gonna get you back to where you have to take it, where the courts order it. So yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah. So
Thank you, no, and Nova. I want to put that out there. Thank you so much helping us with helping Victor. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the only answer I can see for him at this moment, Anne, is for him to apply for HUD.
what's that?
It's a program, a federal program, a living assistance, where they will base his rent based on his income, and he can live anywhere in the United States once he gets approved.
Really? Have you
Yeah.
told him about this? He
Yes.
needs.
Yes.
This is a problem I'm finding with Victor. You need to be able to find someone in Victor's circle who you can tell these things to so they can help him go to do them. But I can't get anyone. The only thing that we were kind of waiting for is his brother to get out of jail. And once his brother gets out, he goes back and lives with him, and then can help Victor like go forward. But he has no one to help him do these things, which is what his mom.
I've offered Nova has I've sent him all kinds of links. It's all about him filling out the application, and he actually can add his brother because I know for a fact if his brother's actually getting out of prison 5 or 6 months from now, they're starting a program to rehabilitate him or to integrate him. It's part of the rehabilitation, but to integrate him back into society, and they've got to make sure that he's has a place to live. All this stuff, they would be able to add him to that HUD program to the yeah and, Nova knows all about it. Nova it's very familiar with the HUD program, but that's the only thing I can think of, right? But that means he'd have to move away from his land, that he'd actually be given, like Tim, a house. He'd be given something to go and live
Yeah,
in. So
yeah,
anyways, these are decisions. And again, it's, he's got autism. So he's got different blocks than what we have.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Like and without anyone there to help him, I just don't know. Like if you ever hear him speak, he is autistic. Like he is not. He types very well and very
Oh,
like he
he's,
sounds real smart. But
yes,
then when
very
you
smart.
talk to him, yeah. But when you talk to him, you know you're talking to an autistic person. So it's
Yes.
very like he actually needs someone to take him, and he has outbursts like an autistic person. So like I tried to like talk to his sister, but she didn't want to know about me. But that's how he had his mom that took him to do everything, so he kind of needs that. But yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
have anyone that wants to help him.
And then we've got Victor in Sweden who's been helping him. So we've got it. I mean, what we've done, even though we've just have these three people who watch our show all the time, they're actually starting to help each other. And that is what matters about all of this. That's all I care about.
Me too.
Um, yeah, we've got a small little community family here actually helping each other. So I think that's
Yeah.
really
I
it
think we
what we're
have a few more
doing.
people who watch this. They just don't comment live. But I have a few people that message me when we don't do our lives, and it's like, "Where aren't you on your live?" I'm like, "Oh, did
We're
you watch
taking
it?"
a break.
I think they watch it like in their downtime or something. But they're like, "Oh, you haven't done a live." I'm like, "Really? Did you know?" Didn't think anyone noticed, but so.
I know. That's good. I'm glad that you got some info. That's good that you didn't tell me about that. So that's
Oh,
awesome.
I forgot.
I
Yeah.
says I dated someone in that situation. Yeah, I was waiting to hear from my friend Ivy, but HUD is not like you can apply in LA and then move to New York. It has to be done in the state he wants to be in. Oh, okay. See, she knows it better than I do. But I do know that it's a federal program and he can be approved wherever he wants to go. So if
Okay.
he wants to move to Utah, because he talks about moving to Utah, he can get approved to get a house there. And it's all based off
Okay.
his income. Yeah. So that he can thrive.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay. I'll tell him. But I think his biggest thing is he just needs that physical person there to help him.
yeah, I
You
I
know,
agree.
he can't
Yeah.
drive anywhere. Sometimes he can't even get food because he can't drive and he's just stuck. Like I don't know. It's all a bit sad. Does help.
It is. That's why I'm going to get in touch with Ivy. She's an EMT. It's right there. Okay. She has a friend in Louisiana. I'm
Okay.
sorry, in Mississippi. Wait. Yeah,
Okay.
he's in Louisiana. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay.
It'd just be great if someone could physically go down there and meet him and be like, "Hey, let's help you get to where you need to get to."
Yeah, let's get you some, but I think that he has a big fear of change. So
Yeah. Well, he is
I think that's
autistic, but
yeah, I know. I think it'll just be a lot easier once his brother's out. I agree
I
with
do
you.
too. I
Hmm.
try to keep him calm and sane until his brother comes out. Just
Yeah,
keep him calm. That's
yeah,
how I work with Victor. Just keep him calm.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
bring him down off the ledge all the time. Just
yeah.
keep that simulation going nice and calmly till his brother comes out, and then there you go.
He'll be out soon, very soon.
He will.
Yeah, I think he gets out. What are we in? We're in January, February, March, April. Let me see where are we at. We're in July, August,
Yeah,
September,
like
October,
October or something.
around November. Yeah, he
Okay.
gets out this year. He gets out this
Yeah,
year, I believe.
exactly. It'll come soon enough. It'll come soon
It will.
enough.
It will.
And
But
when he comes out, that's its own simulation that is going to transpire. So it'll be a new time for Victor. It'll be like a whole new set of things that come with that. So
I
yeah.
do believe, yeah, it's all gonna work out just fine for him. But we did hit our 2 hour mark, and I don't go anywhere, Ann, because I want to end this stream, and then I want to see if we stay on. Okay, I just want to
Okay.
see. I want to see, or does it just end and it shuts off on its own? I'm just kind of curious to see how this works. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, okay, so thanks for watching. And if you guys are interested in what I do, or you want to contact Dan, here's our information. Here's a QR code for my plant medicine store, Elevated by Claudine in Glendale. And then here's Anne's Facebook page. There's her QR code, and that QR code will take you directly to her Facebook page, and you can just message her. That's the best way to get a hold of her
Mhm.
because she is in another country, everybody.
Mhm.
And I'll be live again tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. And thank you guys for watching and for coming in. We super appreciate it and have a happy everything.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See you
Bye.
next